Going live to Douglasville with yours truly, Thrills Alexander, your commish of this amazing fantasy baseball league that we are all a part of. Well, some of us a little more a part of than others right now as the playoffs have started. That's right, this is the playoff preview show for the We Are Those Motherfuckers of the BFFFFL. First time, long time right here. Haven't been a video published since mid-July, and it's now mid-September, almost 2 months to the day. So, somebody's been slacking. But during that time of slacking, you can see that some action did happen in our league. First off, our runaway regular season champion of the year, paying a whopping $0 this year, but still have pride in him nonetheless. That was the stash list, if you will. Jaycock at 15-3-3. From front to end, Jaycock just crushed it this season, made all the right moves whenever he needed to, wheeled, dealed, dropped, added, talked shit, everything you could ask for out of a competitor in this league. That is what Jaycock did this year, and Jumbo showed out. Mr. Sprinkles had good pitching, had good hitting, and when his hitting wasn't good, he hexed the other team or put a spell on the other team because their hitting wasn't worth a shit either. It always worked out. Jaycock played great. His opponent played just a little bit worse. Jaycock plays like shit. His opponent played just a little shittier than he did right there. I don't know how he did it, but maybe he made a deal with the devil. I'm not real sure. All I can say is kudos to you right there, Jaycock. First regular season championship of your career. And I hope it will be the last of your career if we're being factual with one another, because I like to reserve those titles for, well, myself. In second place this year, with a astounding record, if Jaycock's 15-3-3 didn't blow you away, well, the second place team right here sitting at 10-7-4 really should. And that's one Thrills Alexander right here. That's right, the second place division winner finished with just 2 more victories than the 7th place team just here. Wow. If you're Billy Baseball right now, you're really just shaking your head like, how could I be placed in the division with Jaycock of all seasons? Billy Baseball finished 12-5-4 in the year. Could have had a second place spot. First round bye like yours truly right here. But instead, he's going to be in a dogfight with Joe Marshall, which we'll preview later on this episode. Third place, as we mentioned, is Billy Baseball. Fourth place, going to one Detective Steve at 11-9-1. Detective Steve was a division leader for most of the season, flipping back and forth with, Thrills and the Cleveland Assholes right there. But the finished the season 1-4 in the last 5 weeks, and that'll really put a damper on your postseason aspirations for a division title. And the man who is partly responsible for that demise is Ghostman at 10-9-2, this 5th place opponent this year. Rounding out our top 6 playoff teams, we have got Joe Marshall at an even 10-10-1, a exactly 500 record on the season, a 500 record in his division, and with exactly 100 moves made to this point in time. Joe Marshall, zeros all the way around. That's pretty incredible right there. Before we get into the playoff preview, though, we should go ahead and talk a little bit about the teams that are not here with us today. And for those teams, a moment of silence. All their hard work now down the drain. That'll do it right there. Copyright infringement if I'm not careful. But we had 4 teams that managed to not qualify for the season, so I just want to commend them for a well-fought year. Better luck next year. And we'll start with our 7th seed, and that was just here, Tim Savdog. Now, Savdog, the season got off to a rough start there, WrestleMania for you. Auto draft, crappy internet, and your demeanor was just not the same as I'm used to seeing in seasons past. Hopefully next season, being in person, if you're not at Los Angeles for WrestleMania 39, you can be in person, not have those kind of Wi-Fi connection issues, and you will still have the opportunity to draft a team that finishes in about the same spot you finished this year. At least it'll just be with your players. Our 8th seed, who was 10th almost all season long, but rose up like a phoenix from the ashes. And we're talking about Anthony Matthews, the man who claims to be better than you, and we know it, but he was only better than a few teams this year. I was one of those teams that he was better than coming down the stretch, so I'll tip my cap to Big Ant. He beat me there. But Anthony, you'd never quit. I will give you credit. All season long, looking down in the dumps, and you still making moves, talking shit, changing your name. Some people would have, mentally checked out, but not you, my friend, not you. You stayed tried and true, and it's greatly appreciated. Ninth place, the Alpha Academy. And after 4 weeks, this team was 3-0-1. They were a team that I thought could contend this year. And after starting 3-0-1, they then commenced to go 4-14. I guess he was 4-0 at one point in time. Excuse me. Let me pull up this schedule real quick before I slight Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy started 3-0 and from there went 4-14. Wow. Only a B Green led team could finish the season with 7 consecutive losses. So you were 6-7 at one point in time, B Green. I just want you to know that. Right there with a chance to, be in the playoffs. Make something of yourself. And it didn't happen. But you did finish one spot ahead of our 10th place team. And that would be Ryan Walker, or a.k.a. Rob Manfred's fan club. And Rob, when I go back and look at the season, it's just a week after week dismantling at your expense. 3-9, 4-9, 2-12, 3-11, 3-10, 3-11, 3-11, 4-9, 1-12, 3-11 to end the season, 1-12 to Detective Steve at one point in time. It was just not your season. I hope next year, do a little more things right there. Hopefully your team is a little bit better, and you come back, hungrier than ever. We've seen Savdog go from the cellar to the pedestal right there. So I don't know if you can go that far, but I'd love to see him make the playoffs next year and put together a pretty decent squad. So good season overall, 3-14-4. You were pretty much out of playoff contention after week. Oh, you had a bunch of straight losses right there. Yeah, you didn't win from week 5 to week 17. You could not put a win next to your name. So that's rough right there. I had no idea it got that bad. I guess if I'd have made preview videos more frequently, I would have known. But I didn't, and I don't. So, ouch. That's painful. But you stuck through it. All season long, you were changing that team, editing your lineup. So good job to you, man. Good job to you. All right. So let's move on to the teams that matter this week. And we got 4 of them. We got 4 teams, couple first-round buys there for Jaycock and Thrill. So we'll talk more about them next week. But for right now, we're going to focus on the 4 teams that are left. And that's Slack-Jawed Yokels versus Joe Marshall. Now, Slack-Jawed, you've really been coming on recently. Your team is clicking on all cylinders. Last week in the 7 days, you put up a better offense than I've seen teams put up in 2 to 3 week spans right there. It was quite incredible. I don't know if the worry creeps in about shooting your load too soon when it doesn't matter, but when you're picking up Eric Haas and he's doing work for you, when Mike Trout's hitting a home run every single game for a week, when Bo Bichette is trying to catch up all last year's home runs in the next 3 weeks, not a lot of people can do it. That doesn't even count Carlos Correa doing work for you. Julio Rodriguez becoming a runaway Rookie of the Year, possible sneaking in. Well, he can never sneak into MVP consideration because Aaron Judge, but he might lead those Seattle Mariners into the playoffs this year just for a young buck. And like I said, Vladdy Daddy hasn't even really done anything to speak of for you since you've acquired him. He's done all right, but nothing you're like, hey, man, I'm so happy I got Vladdy Guerrero. I'm just going to write a letter home to my mom and tell her how happy I am. All right, I mean, it's so bad you got J.D. Martinez just riding your pine now. A name like that would have never thought to ride the pine over Jeff Jung or even Christian Yelich, who's not been that great this year, but you're going to keep playing him because he's got a name. I understand how you work. I know. And then your pitchers all season have really been your bread and butter, Billy. Dylan Cease should win the Cy Young this year. Craig Kimbrell is doing wonders right now since he changed his entrance song to Let It Go by, the Ella Enchanted or Snow. What is that? Frozen. That's what it is, Frozen. It's been a while since my daughters cared about that. Devin Williams throwing the air glider, the airbender. I mean, you've got pitchers out the wazoo. Shane O'Mac is coming back this week. I'm not real sure why you've picked up has-beens like Lucas Giolito and Joe Ryan in the past couple days or weeks, but, more power to you. I obviously let Joe go for various reasons, them being mainly that he kept giving up as many earned runs as he pitched. But if you like high ERAs, who am I to judge? I don't know. Joe Marshall, if we jump over to you for a minute and look at your squad, you shouldn't be any happier right now. You've made the playoffs. You snuck in there. You were a 7-8 seed just a couple weeks ago. Ukret's back in there. You're being led by Showtime. Bryce Harper is back. Dansby's phenomenal. Oh, as I speak, Vlad Guerrero just picks up a hit for Billy Baseball. Now he's at 1-2 for the night. Alex Bregman being the player of the month in August. That's just something you've waited on all season long, I'm sure. And as somebody mentioned in the Slack board, Christian Walker, when did he become Mr. Superstar, Mr. I'm all that? I mean, he's only hitting 240, but in today's MLB, that's 280. That's 285. That's pretty good. And he's still knocking dongs out there, 32 of them to be precise. So, Christian Walker, Bryce Harper, Shohei Ohtani, CJ Cron. You just picked up Rowdy Tellez right there. The man is going for some power. I didn't even mention Pistol Pete, I don't think. All those guys, just Polar Bear Pete, excuse me. Let me not slight him like that. All those guys capable of cranking it out of the park. And then you got Jeff McNeil. You got Taylor Ward. You got Verdugo right there, keeping the average afloat. I think it's going to be a competitive matchup from the offensive standpoint. Now, pitching-wise, we do have Garrett Cole. That's a stud. Helsley, that's a stud. I'm not too sold on Danny Bard, Tyler Anderson, Framber. He's hit or miss sometimes. I don't know if your pitching is going to stack up this week as much as you need it to going against the Slack-jawed Yokels. So for that reason, I'm going to have to put in my prediction, my crystal ball, if you will. I'm looking at Billy Baseball picking up a victory this week, and I can easily see it be 10-6, 10-5, something like that. Excuse me, I think we only have 14 categories. I'll go 9-5. That's the way I see it this week. I see Slack-jawed Yokels coming out on top, Billy Baseball advancing to the semifinals, and Rymart shrugging his head, going back to the drawing board, and then looking at his fantasy football team and realizing, hey, he's going to be in the playoffs there too with that squad. So brighter days are ahead for you, Rymart. This week, though, unfortunately, is not going to be one, as I'm picking Slack-jawed Yokels to pick up the victory here. All right. As we move into our matchup number 2, we've got Ghostman on second versus Detective Steve. Now, Ghostman absolutely walloped, kiboshed, KO'd, whatever term you feel like using. He did it to Detective Steve last week in a 14-0 complete annihilation ass whipping right there. It's real tough to do that back-to-back weeks to a team. It is real tough, even in the fantasy world. Real world, we can see it as well. But even in the fantasy world, it's tough to get your team up and yourself up when you beat a team 14-0 last week and you're riding high. And Cody, I know how you're riding, and you're definitely riding high, my friend. So that to me automatically makes me sit back and think, does Detective Steve have a chance this week? Should Ghostman be favored? I don't know, because the Vegas odds right now, it's Ghostman minus 140. So you put down, you got to put down 140 to win 100 on Ghostman. That's not good odds. Not for the better. Vegas is fine with that. But as I look at the teams right here, Cal Raleigh finally being picked up right there on D-Harb's team. Other than that, on D-Harb, I'm not seeing the pop. I'm not seeing where you're getting your total bases from this week. Maybe Matt Chapman's going to do something. Jose Ramirez. Nick Castellanos is hurt. Not that he was doing shit to begin with. You're banking on Seth Brown and Cody Carroll. Man, tough times right now. Ramon Urias. I don't even know what to say looking at this offense. I really don't. I do not see how you're going to compete this week with the offense that you're trotting out on the field. You heard those players. Now you listen to Cody's team. You might think, well, he's Vientos. Don't even know who that is. Eduardo Escobar, Luis Rengifo. I mean, those are just some regular scrub bubs that Yahoo's recommended to pick up down the stretch, and I can't be upset at Cody for doing it. But I still see studs on his team with Juan Soto, Ronald Acuna, Michael Harris, Francisco Lindor, Travis d'Arnaud. Shit, Max fucking Muncy, man who couldn't hit over 093 to start the season, just can't stop getting multi-hit games, knocking in dingers, picking up RBIs. How he has 19 home runs and 60 RBIs right now is beyond me. That is not even fair. I owned that mug for 7 weeks to start the season. He didn't have 7 hits. So, Cody, patience pays off right there. I think offensively, you've got a really good chance to take advantage here. Going to the pitching side, D-Harp has had a staff all year that has been the bee's knees. A team that I've looked at and been like, damn, I wish I had that staff. It's Showtime. It's NL Cy Young winner Sandy Alcantara, Kevin Gascan, Edwin Diaz shutting the door down on folks. Pablo Lopez, if he's not playing the Braves, or he is playing the Braves, still kicking ass. And then Jose Barrios deciding, yeah, this week I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be the guy that, deserved all that money. And he's going to throw 6-7 innings tonight of one-run baseball. Then you look over here at Code Nope's team, and you're like, well, when I see Jacob deGrom and Spencer Strider sitting at the top of your list with a little throw-in of Hunter Green possibly later this week, George Kirby and Clayton Kershaw, fuck, that's some good players. That's some good pitchers. I didn't even mention Blake Snell. Blake Snell's been pretty all right recently. Lance Cullors is coming back. Braxton Garrett doing things right there for him. Just came off the IL with an oblique injury. Code Nopes picks him up like a real sumbitch. So this week, I truly see Cody picking up another victory. And D-Harb, this will be a 10-4, 11-3 smoking. Your season ended. I don't know what happened, but down the stretch, you were not Secretariat. You were the horse that we got to shoot down because they broke its leg. So, D-Harb, unfortunately, I can't go with you here. I got to go with Ghostman getting to the semifinals, which would mean our second to last week of the year matchups would look like Jaycock going against Slackjaw and Thrills going against Ghostman on second. No, excuse me. I will be playing Billy Baseball, and Jaycock will be playing Ghostman on second. Ooh, how the tides have turned the tables. So that'll do it for this week. I do want to give a shout out to Cody Nobes. This shirt is just for you, my friend. My mom picked it out for me. I know I needed to rock it for this very occasion right here as a token of my gratitude for you solidifying my spot in the semifinals, or the NLCS as I like to think of it. So thank you for that, kind sir. Gentlemen out there, it's been 17 minutes of fun. We've got 2 more of these to round out the season. I'll be here next week, and I'll be here the week after to congratulate the champ, whoever he may be. So take it easy, and good luck, Ghostman. Good luck, Detective Steve. Good luck, Slackjaw. Good luck, Joe Marshall. And to my 4 squads that didn't make the playoffs, good luck next year. Until next time, this is your commish, Thrills Alexander. Peace.